Everyone. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another Mindset Monday with the Wave Makers. We have 31 logged in. There's probably 35 to 37 people on this call right now, and I am humbled. It is an honor to build this community and to be a part of this and to bring value as many people that are willing to listen. I go through my own struggles on a daily basis, and a lot of these things that we go over, especially on Mondays, me and Nick are literally just talking to ourselves. You guys just happen to be in the same room, right? That's what's happening here. We're all developing. We're all trying to grow. And so I appreciate you guys being on this call. If you're new, drop in where you're tuning in from and who invited you. Guys, we only ask one thing, right? These are free. This whole community is free. We ask one thing. If you get value, share it with your friends. If you get value from what you hear on these calls, share it with your network, share it with your community, right? And help us grow this community out of, like-minded people who are looking to create waves of positive change for themselves and for the people around them. That's what a wave maker is, right? And I'm super excited about this next chapter that we're going into. For those of you who don't know, Nick and I started Wave Makers, it must have been 4 years ago. And we started running these calls, and the month one was self-love. The entire month of month one was self-love. And we're actually getting ready to go back to our roots. This next phase that we're entering for Mindset Mondays is going to be all about self-love. And it's going to be all about how to fall in love with yourself. Because if you don't learn how to fall in love with yourself, you got no chance of loving other people with your whole heart. And you got no chance of loving this life with everything that you can, right? It starts with us. So we're really going to shift the focus, and I'm super excited. I think that a lot of the building blocks from success come from what do you think about yourself, right? A lot of the things that are reflected in the success of our business, the success of our finances, the success of our relationship, the success of our home, right? And our lives. It's a direct reflection of what you think about yourself, right? And I have been facing some demons. So this was actually a personal request of mine to Nick that we take this back to month one, because Michael Battanti needs to go back to month one of being a wave maker. And it's all about falling in love with yourself. So what we're going to talk about tonight is self-discipline. It has been said that the highest form of self-love is self-discipline. Being able to learn to tell yourself no when the time is right. Being able to withhold yourself from things that are not serving you. To be able to battle human temptation, right? So that we can enter this next level, right? We can embrace the highest version of ourselves. We could talk about this topic for hours, right? I want to urge you guys, if you are not taking notes, you are going to forget 90% of this information. So take notes, guys. It's important. Here are my big three for self-discipline. Number one, identifying your weaknesses. What are your triggers? What do they look like? What do your demons look like? Oh my goodness. How hard of a conversation is that to have? And it's actually pretty simple, right? Number two, monitoring your activity. I think that is one of the most important aspects of creating discipline, is knowing what are you doing with your time right now? Where are the times where you are unbelievably undisciplined? In what areas? What does it look like? And there is a way for you to track that. We're going to go into that. Number three, creating accountability. Here's one thing that Michael Battanti has learned about himself. I will go to war for other people way more than I'll go to war for myself. I will give the shirt off my back and I will do things that make me uncomfortable 10 times more for other people than I will do for myself. And with that in mind, I have to create my accountability around the fact that I work way harder for other people. right? And that's just about getting to know yourself a little bit, right? So let's dive in, guys. Give me your attention for 10 minutes. Let's talk about your weaknesses. How do I identify my weaknesses? Here's the first thing that I will tell you. You call it your conscience. I call it the Holy Spirit. You know when you're doing something right and when you're doing something wrong. You absolutely know it. There is no mistaking. I shouldn't be doing this right now, right? And then the devil and the hood rat and the undisciplined version of yourself is like, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? And that's where we need to isolate that demon and reinforce with better habits, right? This is no longer funny. These are the things that I'm saying to myself. Michael, you're 29 years old. It's no longer a laughing matter to be like, I'm going to do it anyway, right? That may have flown. That may have been okay when you were 16, 17, 18, 19. It's no longer acceptable. And that conversation of raising your standards. But in order for us to identify our weaknesses, guys, we have to have the hard conversations. And it comes through that conscience. When you feel like you should not be doing something, write that down. What are you doing that's making you uncomfortable? What are you doing that's making your decision-making, your moral compass start to flicker, right? Picture it like a light bulb. Every time it starts to get even remotely controversial with your actions, that light bulb starts to flicker. Like, nope. Think of it like a flashing red light. Nope. Nope. Right? And that's where free will comes in, is you absolutely get the choice. In that moment, you saw the flashing light and you get choice to say yes or say no. And when you are undisciplined, you consistently say yes, right? Rebel Michael knows it better than most people, right? It's almost like a game. How many times can I say yes to things that don't serve me in a given day, right? I've had enough. And so what I need to do is reinstill better habits. And in order for me to identify those habits, I need to identify my weaknesses, right? And it's important, right, to take a look at that screen time. Let's go into set number 2, monitoring. Let's go into it. Write down screen time. Just because we're in 2020, like, we all suffer from the same addiction. It's all there. Some of you are better at it. Some of you are better at managing it, but 95% of us suffer from the same addiction to our cell phones, right? And so I want you to write down screen time, and then more importantly, I want you to double underline the word time. And ask yourself this question: when is the last time I truly tracked my 24 hours? Take a day, Monday, Wednesday. Take a day that really requires you to plug in. What is your busiest day? What is the day where you really got a lot going on? When is the last time that, like, hour by hour, minute by minute, you actually tracked where those 24 hours went? And this is such an important eye-opener, right? The same way that's how you track your finances, is just take a look for 30 days what happened to your debit card. Just take a look. Some of you don't even want to have that conversation, right? About how much money came in and how much money went out. And out of that money that went out, where did it go? Oh, I know that I personally have such a ridiculous time with that conversation of where did all my money go? But it's a way to monitor my spending. And I'm asking you right now, from one friend to another, start monitoring your time. You want to talk about unbelievably healthy habits to develop to promote a better version of you? Figure out where all your time is going and be very, very mindful of that, right? I remember graduating college and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm free. I have all this time. What do I do with it? Right? Forever. It was, I knew where I had to be. I knew what I had to do. I knew where I was supposed to go. And then I became an adult and it became my responsibility to decide where my time goes, to decide where I exist, to decide what's happening with my 24 hours. And things get tricky. It's very easy to lose yourself if you don't have your schedule. You lose yourself into the temptations of the world. You lose yourself into the temptations of the people around you. You become a product of your environment because you don't have control over your schedule. So when we talk about that conversation of monitoring, here's the big key term: white space. Write it down. When you take a look at your schedule, you're going to see this thing called white space. And that is where your dreams come true, inside of that white space, right there. Warren Buffett tells you to break your day into thirds. You have 8 hours for sleep. You have 8 hours for work to pay the bills and to take care of your family. And then you have 8 hours of free time. And the sole difference between the people who accomplish their goals and the people who absolutely plunder in life and sit there with a whole bag of regrets on their deathbed are what happens in that free time. We call it white space. Because when you're writing out your calendar, it's the gap where there's nothing. What are you doing in that white space? Monitor it. Pay attention to it. Because when you can monitor it and pay attention to it, you can fill it with unbelievable things that are going to prop you up and help you become the best version of yourself. Number 3, creating accountability. Right? Guys, I cannot tell you how important this is. Right? Here are the lowest of lows for Mike Battanti, is when I shut the rest of the world out and you have no idea that I have not gotten up for the past 24 hours. I stayed down for 24 hours. And because I don't have an accountability system, because I don't have my daily calls with Nick at 11 a.m. where like I actually have to come to terms with the fact that I have not gotten up yet. Nick is calling. I have to come to terms with the fact that I am not up yet. Right? Whatever it looks like for you guys, your gym buddy at 6 a.m., your walking buddy in the morning, your church buddy at Sunday, something where somebody else gets to love you until you learn to love yourself. I'm going to say it again. Neo, arguably the songbird, the true songbird of our generation. Neo, right? He says, let me love you until you learn to love yourself. You need to look at your accountability system as that. Something that you strategically put in place to love you while you learn to love yourself. Something that you strategically put in place to hold you accountable until you can learn to hold yourself accountable. Right? That crutch, you need it so we can learn how to stand on our own. Right? And so, guys, use your friends. Bring them in on your demons. Bring them in on your struggles. Bring them in after you've identified how to monitor and what you would like to do. Speak your goals into existence. Speak that growth into existence to your friends so that at any point in time, I can check back in and I can be like, yo, Gabe, how's FIU going? How's that schedule looking? Right? What's it looking like? Right? At any point in time, Nick can call me and be like, yo, where are you at with your ministry? How's school going? Right? And these are things that I have chosen to put into place to hold me accountable. Because it's a slippery slope when you got nobody checking in on you. Right? It's a very slippery slope when you have nothing that prevents you from shutting the door and turning the lights off and laying down. Who knows how long you're going to be in there when it's just you versus your demons and yourself. Your accountability structure, your system of accountability is that foot that stops the door from shutting and just leaves a little bit of light in to remind you that you're alive and to remind you that there's hope and to remind you that you at some point started something and it's time to finish it. Right? So again, guys, my huge 3 steps for this conversation of self-discipline, it starts with identifying what you're struggling with and what your weaknesses are. The way that we identify what we're struggling with and what our weaknesses are monitoring our time, monitoring our weaknesses, monitoring our life, keeping track, keeping score, paying attention. Wake up. It's time to pay attention to what is happening with your time, right? A couple things like your conscience. The Holy Spirit will tell you, I should not be doing this. I should not be doing this. My better version deserves better than this. Flashing light. Warning. Do not proceed. If you are going to proceed, you are going to take steps back in your life. Your future self deserves better. Do not take steps back. Take steps forward. And then most importantly, guys, I cannot tell you the reason that I'm still alive right now is because of the accountability system that I've put together. And my friends that have helped me, my friends that recognize my demons, my friends that recognize when it's time to check in on Mikey B. So do it for yourself, guys, right? And let somebody else have the opportunity to love up on you until you learn to love up on yourself, right? So that's what I got for you guys. Drop some twos in the chat if you got a little bit of value from what I said. I just need one person, Eric Brown. Thank you, brother. I did my job here tonight. I'm super excited for Mr. Nick Teixeira. This man is entering a whole different level of life, and it's evident in everything that he's doing. So I'm super excited to start taking notes. Nicky T, brother, come on. Drop some wisdom, drop some knowledge for these people.
Thank you, brother. Can you hear me well?
Yes, sir.
Amazing, amazing. Well, first of all, fantastic. Proud of you, man. That was beautiful. I think it, especially for me, the keeping score, keeping track of our time, keeping track of our dollars, keeping track of where we're at. That is something that when I began doing that, it changed everything in my life, and there's still progress there. There's still room for improvement. So great reminder. I appreciate that. And guys, 42 of you that are here live with us, thank you so much for joining us. If you're gaining value, we hope that you come back. We hope that you continue to be a part of this community. We are here to share things that are beneficial to us, and hopefully it's going to be beneficial for you as well. So I'm going to be here 10 minutes, 12 minutes, very short and simple and to the point. And so on this topic of discipline, one of the first things that I want to ask you guys, for all of us to think about this, is this. What is think back to when you were maybe 8 years old or 10 years old or 12 years old. What was your idea of discipline? Drop it in the chat. What did discipline mean to you back when you were younger? Drop it in the chat. Let's see. Let's see what you guys got. No fun, punishment, doing my chores, making my bed, punishment. What else? Doing what I was asked to do. Doing my homework, obeying my parents. Highest form of self-love, no fun, doing what was right. I think there's a trend here, right? We grew up with the mindset and a perspective that it's something that is not good and that it's going to hurt and that is not fun. And I think that a lot of us are still living with that belief. I think a lot of us still think that it is not good. But here's the reality, 42 of us watching this live, most of us are entrepreneurs. All of us have goals in life, or otherwise we wouldn't be here. We care about growing, obviously. And the fact of the matter is this: wherever we are in life right now, which there's beauty in that. It doesn't matter how not happy you may be with the results that you're having, there's still beauty there. And where you want to go, the bridge is discipline. So between you, where you're at right now, and every single goal that you have in your life, the bridge that's going to get you there is discipline. So I think it's very important that all of us begin to, or continue, or strengthen our relationship with discipline, because it is the highest form of self-love. Like we had Mike and we had someone else here drop it on the chat for us, right? It is the highest form of self-love. Here's what discipline is. Here's one definition of discipline if you want to write this down. Okay? Discipline is doing what you said you will do. If you're writing this down, discipline is doing what you said you will do long after. Okay, I'm going to start over. I know a lot of people just picked up a pen. Here we go. Discipline is doing what you said you will do long after the feeling you said it with has left you. That's what discipline is. It's doing what you said you would do long after the feeling you said it with has left you, right? It's so easy when you're fired up to make goals and I'm going to do this. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get up early, and I'm gonna crush the gym, and I'm gonna do, and then that alarm clock goes off, you know. And look, I'm gonna be the first one. And by the way, Mike, I appreciate your authenticity and your vulnerability in speaking about where you're at and the struggles that you still go with, because that is a strong sign of courage in life. It's speaking about our weaknesses, and so I respect you for that, man. And I myself still struggle with my ability to wake up in the morning at the time that I set my alarm to the night before. Because the night before, I'm freaking ready to get up. And then that alarm goes off and, oh man, I'm sore and I'm tired and, you know. And so I think it's important that all of us, I mean, let's just ingrain it in our subconscious mind that discipline is good. A good parent discipline their kids. Okay? And so here's a question that I have for you, and let's all do this right now because now is the only time we have, right? What is one area right now in your life that you lack discipline the most? What is the one area in your life that is lacking discipline? And you know it. Write it down in your paper. If you want to write it down in the chat, that's fine. Just one. Yeah, I mean, what is the main one? What is the root one? What is the root discipline that you're lacking in that is leading to all the lack of disciplines in all other areas? Is it your relationship with God? Is it waking up early? Is it setting time for yourself? Is it creating boundaries? Is it working out, doing physical exercise to get your body, get your mind right? What is it? Is it eating? It's making you feel crappy? Organization, daily routine, putting myself first, sticking to my schedule, completing tasks, making time for myself, staying consistent, daily exercise. Love it. So here's the concept. Here's the idea. Little wins. The little wins. So right now, in that area that you just said that you lack the most discipline in with, write one thing that you can do that is a positive action that is going to begin the process of creating the habit of discipline in that area. What is one thing that you can do about that? Something simple, something small, doesn't need to be huge. You know, for some of you that said, you know, sticking to a schedule, Mike mentioned a huge one there, which is creating a schedule. Maybe you don't even, you know, the schedule is your mind. You got to get out of the mind, right? So download Google Calendar, you know, get a journal if you like to write it down. That's one easy, or you know, you haven't been working out, go get that gym membership. Go pay that $50 and now you're going to have a reason to go to the gym. You can't get up early in the morning. That's something that I'm also working on. And what I'm committing right now to do is I'm going to raise the volume of my alarm and I'm going to put it across the room. I have to physically get up and know I can't sleep through it because it's too loud. Okay. You guys with me? Yeah. So the little wins, right? And celebrate them. So, and I know a lot of us here are entrepreneurs, right? And I hope that this right here hits you in the gut and it hurts a little bit, just a little bit, but it's with love, okay? How can you have a disciplined bank account if you can't discipline yourself? Oh. See, you want to have a discipline, you want to have a powerful bank account, but you can't discipline yourself? How is that going to work? It's impossible. It's just not going to, right? Morning routines. And that's what, and this is the last thing that I want to talk about. Morning routines. I believe I am a big believer for me, and this is where I find myself in my life, in my journey. The days that I'm up earlier, I naturally feel like a winner. I'm crushing a day. I have more time in my hands. I have more inspiration. There's some energy that is available that God gives us earlier in the morning, and I feel incredible, and I feel like a boss, and I'm ready to crank and crush my day and create amazing things. So for me, a root discipline is rising earlier. And that entails two things for me. One, going to bed earlier. If I go to bed too late, forget about it. I'm not gonna. So I have to go to bed earlier. I have to be disciplined about that. And the second thing, the morning routine. If you right now are waking up without a morning routine, you don't have purpose in your life right now. And I've been there, and I'm telling you, create a morning routine that encompasses your soul, your mind, and your body. And right there, you're gonna set yourself up to creating a powerful day, and you're gonna flourish just like the shirt right here. And you're gonna begin to bloom, and you're gonna begin to grow in life. But it is very important that this morning routine has discipline in it. And so, I'm not going to tell you what you need to do. That's up to you. Okay. Whatever. For me, it's waking up, it's doing my prayer, it's brushing my teeth, it's drinking my water, it's journaling, it's doing my Tony Robbins priming, it's doing my breath work. It is doing some form of physical exercise, and drinking more water. And then I'm open to checking out what's in my phone. And then I will look at my schedule. That is important for me. I literally cannot function throughout the day unless I do that. I will not perform the best way or as well as I could. And so, who in here has a steady and strong morning routine right now? Drop it in chat. I do. Now, if you haven't been doing it, don't put it there. Who in here has a strong morning routine right now? Okay. We have a few people. Fantastic. Amazing, right? So look, if you don't have one right now, that is okay. That is okay. You're working on yours. That's amazing. Here's the amazing thing, right? And here's the last, and I'm done. Okay, I know I'm going over. Look, here's the last thing that I'm going to tell you guys about. Self-love. That's the series that we're entering in the Wave Makers community right now, right? And we're speaking about discipline. I'm going to tell you guys one thing. And this one thing, and this can be a whole nother call, and it probably will be. But forgiving ourselves for our past mistakes is so important in this conversation right here. There is no self-love unless we forgive ourselves. Absolutely impossible. Forget about it. You want to love yourself? If you don't forgive yourself for your past mistakes, if you don't forgive yourself for messing up yesterday, you're done. You're not going to wake up tomorrow being the greatest version of yourself. You're not giving yourself the chance to succeed. You can't go back, only forward. Write that down on your paper. I can't go back, only forward. I can't go back, only forward. So next time that the self-critic and the self-judge and the little devil on your shoulder tells you, who do you think you are? You're a loser. How many times have you tried this? You're not going to win. You're not going to do that. You need to affirm yourself. I can't go back. I'm going forward. The only time is now. I'm a winner. I'm a champion. I'm the child of God. And today is a new day in my life. And right there. And now you create a new field for the spirit in you to live inside of your body, and like that's powerful right there. So, I just want to leave you guys with that. I hope that you guys gained some value from this call. Drop a 33 in the chat if you did. I love you guys. Thank you for joining us. For those of you that watched the recording, thank you so much for being a part of this community. Join us in our live calls. We're going to stay for another 10 minutes for those of you that are here live and mastermind a little bit, okay? And to end it, I'm going to say this. If you gained value, there's no fee. You don't have to pay to be a part of this, but please share this link and invite someone to join our next Monday call or our Friday call coming up. Okay. Let's share this so that we can continue to expand this mindset. Love you guys. God bless you. Thank you for joining us.